I've mentioned in the past a few times that the iaito I practice iai with started out as live blades, and several people have asked me, well, how'd you dull the blade? And it's really quite simple. This has been my practice katana for about 2 years. It started out as a live blade from handmadesword.com, but it was fairly light and agile, and I liked the handling of it, and I needed an iaito for practice, so this became it. And as you can see, there's no way this is going to cut me. There's no way, even the tip of it I dulled, so that if I miss no toe, it isn't going to poke me open. Quite simply, I stripped the blade down, disassembled it. I have a flat bastard file. Any machine shop or tool store have one of these. They're not a lot of money. First of all, I went directly down the blade, wearing gloves, of course, leather gloves. What I did is I started at a 90-degree angle from the blade, 90 degrees this way, and on about a 45 like this, and I filed straight down the edge of it. Starting at the top, worked my way down until I had completely taken off on a 90-degree angle the sharp edge of the blade. Now, this other blade I worked with the same way. It was another live blade that I purchased. As it turns out, the tempering job wasn't very good on this, and when I cut with it a few times I got a bit of a bend in the blade. So I straightened the blade out and decided I didn't want to cut with it anymore because the temper wasn't that great. And I did the same thing. Now, in working the blade with the file, I noticed there was a section of the blade I got to where you could feel the file grabbing more metal. You could feel it sinking in deeper. It's because the temper was uneven and I was actually hitting a softer spot of steel. And that was going to cause, instead of having a nice shape to this, it was going to start to actually cause a divot in that softer spot where I was filing. So keep an eye out for that. Luckily I noticed right away what that was and what was happening, and avoided causing that to the blade. This one also started out live and is now, quite dull. And the tip quite dull. It ain't going to poke me, it ain't going to, cause any damage to me. Now, after the filing, straight down the blade to take the edge off, make sure you've got it nice, taken down quite a bit. Then I took a double-sided whetstone. It has a coarser side on one side and a very, very fine side on the other side. And I went on the 45s to take off the edge that I've created by flat filing the top. Both sides, up and down, to round it out a bit. Once that rounded out and I could feel up and down, run my fingers down and make sure that I've taken that edge off, that 90-degree edge off, then I flipped over to the soft side, or to the fine side, with some water, and I went all over that edge, both sides, with a whetstone, and put it down so it's nice and silky smooth. It feels just as smooth as any other part of the blade, polished. I can even practice without having the saya in my hand. I can hold like this. I can take a draw, and it isn't going to cut me. It isn't going to poke my hand. It's beautiful, smooth, and flat. And that's all there is to turning a live, sharp, dangerous blade into something you can use every day for iai practice.